One of the most popular subgenres of science fiction is space opera. After all, just about every young boy has dreamed of becoming an astronaut, except me of course, and floating in space. The popularity of films and shows like Star Wars, Star Trek, and Cowboy Bebop is undeniable proof of that. Traveling across the vastness of space has always had a strong appeal in the most adventurous of us. After all, there's just no telling what one can discover on a new world. Hi, hello, and welcome again to another episode of Natural Juan. This time we're going to be tackling the vast galaxy that is the setting of Starfinder. I'm going to give you a brief look at the game's mechanics, some of its key story elements, and just what kind of game we can expect. So, put on your spacesuits, ready your laser pistols, and make sure that all the ports on your spaceship are sealed shut, because we're all going for a wild ride. To keep up with this trend of science fiction, and have a lot of fun along the way, Paizo, the creators of Pathfinder, created Starfinder, a sci-fi setting for all you space junkies out there. Well, maybe science fantasy, but you probably get the point. It is to Pathfinder as Warhammer 40,000 is to Warhammer Fantasy, placing all the elves and magic in space. Starfinder takes place in the distant future of Pathfinder, or at least a possible future anyway, with many of the same races, religions, and trappings. The one big thing that's missing though is that the planet Golarion, the actual setting of Pathfinder, has mysteriously vanished. All records, documents, and even memories of the events that led to the planet's disappearance have also been lost, with no one having any clear idea of what just happened. There are theories of course, but relatively few of them are good, and the remaining survivors can only speculate fearfully of what happened to their beloved homeworld. The game itself is set some time after the vanishing of Golarion, which is simply remembered as The Gap, since even immortals like elves and dragons remember nothing of how it occurred. In the place of where Golarion once was is Absalom Station, a colossal city floating in space. In the wake of Golarion's disappearance, the survivors and the people of the nearby planets unite in an attempt to search for clues for what happened to the homeworld. It is up to you, the players and Game Master, to decide on how you fit into this setting and what it is you're up to. Whether you're helping the Starfinder Society find the missing homeworld, fight space pirates as a member of the Stewards, or be a pirate yourself and rob merchant fleets is entirely up to you. Starfinder runs on the same D20 system used by Pathfinder, Dungeons & Dragons, and, to a degree at least, Mutants and Masterminds. Just like the games I mentioned, the primary dice used in this game is a D20 or 20-sided dice, with your secondary dice being D4s, D6s, D8s, D10s, and D12s. It is actually almost identical to the game engine used by Pathfinder, save for a few changes here and there, such as how certain conditions affect characters. AC or armor class now comes in 2 with kinetic armor class that protects you from solid weapons like bullets and blades, and energy armor class that defends you from energy weapons like laser guns and plasma swords. For example, our hero Quig is fighting a space goblin. Quig attacks the space goblin using a pistol and has an attack bonus of +2. He rolls his d20 and comes up with a 12, which, when added to his bonus, is a 14. Since 14 is higher than the space goblin's kinetic armor class of 12, Quig succeeds and rolls his damage dice, which is a d6. Quig rolls well and the dice lands a 6, signifying that the space goblin must now subtract 6 from its hit points of 6. Since the difference of 6 minus 6 is 0, the goblin is now incapacitated. For a non-combat example, let's say that Quig is trying to fix a microwave oven, which has a difficulty class or DC of 12. Again, Quig rolls his d20, and if he were to roll a high number like 19 and add it to his engineering bonus of +10, making it a 29, he succeeds in fixing the oven. Unfortunately, Quig rolls a natural 1, which is the worst outcome possible, and this means that the oven explodes, dealing damage to Quig and his immediate surroundings. So, to begin a game, first you must come up with a concept for your character. Unlike Pathfinder, Starfinder also allows more freedom for players to choose just exactly what kind of hero or adventurer they want to create. In this game, players may choose a theme, race, and class for their character. themes are a purely optional part of character creation, and players may choose one for their characters or not. Themes, in this game at least, serve as a background for your character and give you bonuses in certain areas such as bonus biology skill for biologists or bonus pilot skill for pilots. As mentioned, players can choose not to have a theme for their characters, although having one helps solidify the characterization, as well as give minor benefits. One of the biggest changes to the game, compared to Pathfinder anyway, is that it puts otherwise obscure races from its fantasy predecessor to its main ones. Yes, you heard that right. In this game, the core races are Lashunta, Androids, Kasata, Isoki, Vesk, Shirin, and, relatively unchanged from the original game, humans. While some of these names may seem familiar to you, the Vesk and the Shirin are relative newcomers, with the former being part of a vast empire of reptilian warriors, and the latter a splinter faction of an insect swarm similar to that of the Zerg of StarCraft or Tyranids of Warhammer 40,000. The Isoki, while they sound new, are actually the rat folk of Pathfinder, now given their own name and made into a core race. The old core races like elves, dwarves, gnomes, and halflings are still around, but are now relegated into secondary races, though they are still considered integral to the setting. That said, the creators and developers of the game have gone on to state that they will do their best to create as many playable races as possible for the game, with, as of the latest Alien Archive, made a whopping 4 dozen so far. And that's not even counting the many bonus races one can get from the adventure paths that are released regularly by Paizo. As for class, the game has just 7 classes so far, with more to be added in supplements. The core classes are Envoy, Operative, Soldier, Mystic, Mechanic, Solarian, and Technomancer. The Envoy more or less serves as a leader role and can either choose to be an inspiring commander or a conniving criminal. The Operative is a futuristic version of the role, being skilled in espionage and clandestine combat. The Soldier is almost the same as Pathfinder 1st Edition's Fighter, being versatile combatants, though you are required to specialize in one form of combat. The Mystic is essentially a spellcaster like the Wizard or Sorcerer. The Solarian is Paizo's version of the Jedi and Sith of Star Wars. The Mechanic, on the other hand, is the engineer of the setting, capable of fixing weapons, armor, and vehicles, be they terrestrial motorcycles or giant spaceships. The Technomancer is a special kind of spellcaster that combines their magic with the setting's advanced technology. Next, this game is also famous, or rather infamous, for its spaceship rules. While this game certainly shines in terms of having so many spaceships to choose from the vast Packworld's warships to the luxurious liners of Versus, its main draw is in how players can build their own spaceships and install whatever parts they want onto them. That said, what troubles most players about this aspect of the game is just how complex space combat can be, with every player character having a different role aboard the ship. I will probably discuss this in another video, and perhaps even include a short demo. As stated above already, the setting is still reeling from the loss of Galarian, but things are stable enough for there to be some form of order in most parts of the galaxy. In this era, many of the different races or species of the galaxy have joined the Pact Worlds, an alliance of planets who have banded together for protection against outside threats like the dreaded cult of the Devourer and the Swarm, from whom the Shirin originated from. The Vesk, while belonging to a rival empire and formerly an enemy of the Pact Worlds, have also allied with the latter out of convenience and have become more or less acclimated despite their boisterous natures. However, while the Pact Worlds may seem ideal, this couldn't be further from the truth. Crime and corruption run rampant in the Pact Worlds, and it is up to the player characters whether they want to strengthen it against its enemies or contribute to its downfall. Anyway, this has been another episode of Natural Juan, and if you're still watching, you have my sincerest thanks for seeing it to its end. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like and share. Also, if you want more content like this, please feel free to subscribe for more tabletop role-playing madness. Again, this is Natural Juan bidding you all a good one, and I'll see you again later in the next video.